Hello and welcome back to Crypto Ride, or welcome to Crypto Ride if it's your first time visiting the channel. On this channel, we try to help everybody get through this ridiculous bear market and inevitably profit from cryptocurrency. So today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about in episode 4. My name is Anthony, and the way I see it, there are 4 things that you can do during this bear market. Number 1, sit back and hodl. Number 2, buy the dip. Number 3, transfer your funds to Bitcoin or Tether. And number 4, take the loss. Don't take the loss. Don't take the loss. Hodling or holding your crypto in times like this can be one of the toughest things to do. A couple things you have to remember as far as waiting this thing out is one, we don't really know when it's going to end. And another being that this market can recover quickly. It really does have the chance to do that. Back in, I think, April, when this market started going up, and I just remember checking my portfolio and being up hundreds of dollars a day. And it took all of, a week, and I went from being way down to being considerably up, my portfolio as a whole. As far as hodling, you just have to be patient and really just let this thing happen. Okay, so buy the dip. What does that mean? Well, every so often in markets such as the cryptocurrency market, you're going to see highs, you're going to see peaks, and you're going to see valleys. And we talked about entry point psychology in my second video, but you really want to buy in the valley. Now, my job is, my strategy rather, is not just to hold, but to put more money in at strategic moments. There are a couple ways you can do that. For me, here's what I've done. Now, I've bought Bitcoin, I've bought crypto, I shouldn't just say Bitcoin, but I've bought crypto in general in the last week a couple different times. I bought it once at $6,200. Then I bought again when it dropped below $6 for about $5,900. And now I'm waiting. So what's the market doing? It's consolidating. It's kind of going up and down. It's doing the Bart Simpson haircut thing. But eventually, that's going to pass. So now I'm waiting. So when we talk about buying the dip, I'm waiting for another new low. I'm waiting for, at this moment, 5,700 or so or lower. And what I do is I just buy a little bit at a time. So I'm not buying, and his great advice just in general. Remember, none of this is financial advice, really. It's just me talking about my opinion and my experiences, but I'm not a professional. But if possible, you should always have a little bit of cash on the side, fiat ready to be ejected into the market. Don't put you can if you want to, if you feel like you do hit a low, and of course, then go for it. But I am not going to put all my money in at once. I'm going to wait and pick my moments, and I'm just going to snipe this thing. All right, here it is. Boom. And then on the uptrend, hopefully it's going to pay off in spades. Right? If I can get, a lot of people project 25K. If I can buy this thing at 55 and then we see 25K, I don't have to talk about the gains, right? That's a 5X. So here are the 2 sources, my 2 reasons why I think this market's coming down before it goes up. So I registered for a webinar called The Truth About Cryptocurrencies, scheduled for July 19th. It's hosted by Glenn Beck and Tika Tiwari. Now, Tika Tiwari, if you don't know who he is, he's one of the most prominent voices in the cryptocurrency space, and he made predictions about the first big boom, which happened in December. Now, Tika has been talking about a second boom. He believes that we're on the horizon of something huge, similar to what we saw back at the end of 2017. Now, here's the thing. The date of this webinar is July 19th. Now, someone like Tika Tiwari and his co-host Glenn Beck, these are people who are going to have inside information. So why are they waiting until July 19th to schedule this if the market's going to go big before then? Right now, Tika just sent out an email yesterday. He's going to be guaranteeing people that sign up for his Palm Beach Confidential service 1,000% gains. So first of all, that's a really ballsy move to guarantee 1,000%. But he's guaranteeing 1,000% on July 19th. All right, it's not even the end of June yet, or depending on what time you watch this, maybe it's the first week of July, right? So we've still got some time here. I also want to take a moment on this episode to talk about Syndicator, and their most recent alert from their bot is not looking bullish either. They're predicting, and I don't want to give away too many details, but they're predicting roughly another month or so and potentially lower lows as well. No one has a crystal ball. No one can make any sort of predictions with certainty, but like I said in my last video, I'm always trying to find multiple sources saying the same thing. And by the way, a lot of the analyst videos I've watched on YouTube or people I follow on Twitter, they're saying the same thing. They're saying we could see some lower lows. Now, another thing you might consider doing during the bear market is transferring your money into either Bitcoin or Tether. So you can take all the altcoins you have, if you have a collection of them, and move them all into Bitcoin. And if you don't know what Tether is, it's basically a cryptocurrency that's tied to the US dollar, so it doesn't really fluctuate in value. So if you say to yourself, oh my goodness, I'm down, let's say $2,000, I don't want to lose anymore, but I don't want to back out of crypto, you can move your money to Tether, and then hopefully, let's say a month or 2 months from now, that $2,000 will still be $2,000, and then you can move it into the other coins. And of course, like I said before, Bitcoin itself provides another safe haven. And a reason why is this thing called Bitcoin dominance. So if you look at this top line here, the orange one for Bitcoin, you see 37.97, right? If I go back to, let's see, if I go back to about May 7th, you're starting to see this Bitcoin dominance go down. And then as I go up to current day, you see dominance go up. And today, we're sitting a little over 42.59%. So what's that mean? It means of the overall cryptocurrency market capitalization, Bitcoin has 42.59% of it. So what's that mean for you as an investor? It means that Bitcoin is going to have smaller fluctuations in price compared to everything else. So if you look at the 7-day chart for Bitcoin, you'll see it's down 9.75%. Ethereum down 18% over 7 days. Ripple down 14. Bitcoin Cash 20. And you can see how these numbers get bigger. If I scroll down, they get even bigger. Right? So if you look at, let's say, Yuan Chain down 30% over 7 days. Compare that to Bitcoin's 9.75, big difference. And if you look at the 30-day, you'll see the same thing. Bitcoin down almost 20% for 30 days. Sounds like a lot, and it is, but look at Bitcoin down almost 60%. Look at, I'm going to name some other reputable projects. Look at Steam down 46%, almost 47%, right? What's the other projects? A Walton Chain. I know a lot of people like that. Down almost 50%. You get the idea. And the last resort, when all hope is lost, would be selling it at a loss. I don't recommend doing this. Of course, I'm a YouTuber. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. But, if you've had all you can take, you can sell right now. And one thing I want to touch on in this video is I want to talk about Bitcoin whales and something called over-the-counter trading. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but I want you to understand what it is. If you've never heard of over-the-counter trading, this is basically something that billionaires, whether they're private investors or full-on corporations or companies or brokers, this is something that billionaires use to buy their Bitcoin. So what's happening right now is a lot of the big institutional money is buying Bitcoin, but it's buying it over the counter. And when these large institutions buy this money over the counter, it's not reflected on the exchange. What's happening is these investors are buying over the counter, they're buying off the grid, the prices aren't moving, people are getting scared, prices are going down. Now here's what I want you to remember, and this is huge. These same investors that are, I'm going to look right into the camera on this one, these same investors that are buying at this low price because they want to buy low, well, guess what? They're going to need to profit. I'm just going to let that sink in. So these institutions are buying low, they're going to want to profit eventually. So what's going to need to happen for them to profit? They're going to need the price to rise. So they're going to start buying maybe on exchanges, buying in other ways. And I'm no expert on this. I'm just telling you what I know about it. And that's my hunch. They're pushing it down. They're keeping it down. A lot of people, a lot of sources talk about market manipulation. You have to remember that. Remember, Bitcoin's not going anywhere, guys. If Bitcoin was going to go down to zero, we'd definitely be lower than we are right now. It would have went just straight down to zero. Bubbles pop. Bitcoin didn't completely pop. It's just going through a correction. It's going through an extreme correction, but a correction nonetheless. So hang in there. I do think gains are on the distant horizon. If you're still with me and you've watched this much of the video, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Don't sweat this market, guys. It's difficult, but do what you can. Choose one of the strategies I went over. Hopefully you're not choosing the last one, and good luck to you.